And welcome back to another daily devotion. I am Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Tuesday, June 4th of 2024. We are in Galatians. We're in the first chapter yet. We just started Galatians the other day. We're going to look at verses 13 to 17 today in the first chapter. This follows up immediately after what we talked about yesterday, verses 11 and 12, where Paul basically is saying, hey, what I've got, this revelation, this gospel that I brought to you that you shouldn't be listening to any other gospel about, because the prior day we talked about how he said, a curse on you or anyone else or myself if I preach a different gospel to you. By the way, that gospel I got it right from Jesus, got it right from the guy himself. So, hey, it's good. It's golden, as they say. So, 13 to 17, let's jump in and see what we can talk about from that. For you have heard of my former life in Judaism, how I persecuted the church of God violently and tried to destroy it. And I advanced in Judaism beyond many of my own age among my people, so extremely zealous was I for the traditions of my fathers. But when he who had set me apart before I was born, and had called me through his grace, was pleased to reveal his Son to me, in order that I might preach him among the Gentiles, I did not confer with flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me. But I went away into Arabia, and again I returned to Damascus. Okay, and it's interesting there, he said, persecuted the church of God. He's talking about the Jewish movement, or the Christian movement within Judaism. Remember, at this point in time, Christianity is still a sect within Judaism. So he's calling them the church of God. That's kind of interesting. And here also, he uses the word Judaism twice. That's the only times it's used in the New Testament is here in Galatians when Paul's talking about it. And really, when he's saying Judaism, I think he's really meaning more Phariseeism, the Pharisee movement, because Paul is a Pharisee. It's one of about 36 sects again that are out there and were there at that time in Judaism after the fall of the temple in 70. Basically, all that you had left was the Pharisee movement and Christianity, because Christianity was, is still kind of devolving or evolving into its own thing. But the reason the Pharisee movement survived is because they had synagogues, and those were what were out in the diaspora, out in the outer regions, if you will, distributed around the world. They ran the synagogues because they wanted to do the teaching, so they set up synagogues. That was their way they did things, their MO, let's put it that way, method of operation. So that's why the Pharisee movement survived. Okay, but he's talking about that he was advanced beyond his years. Can't talk today. Advanced beyond his years for people his age within the Pharisee movement, and he was very zealous for it. He was quite extreme. In fact, in Acts, we have an inference that it was Paul that held the coats of people as we had Stephen martyred, the first martyr, that he was there, and then he was, of course, the one that was appointed to go out and persecute the church of God, and he did so violently, he says. And there, when he uses the word zealous there, that's a violent word also. So he's showing that he was very much inflamed with his passion for the church, before Judaism, his branch of Judaism, the Pharisee movement. All right, and he was zealous for the traditions of his fathers. But he who had set me apart before I was born, God picked him before he was born. God knows you before you're born. He knows you in the womb. And called him through his grace, was pleased to reveal his Son to me. And that word can be in me or through me also, is how it can be translated, in order that I might preach him among the Gentiles. So Paul realizes that his calling is to take it to the people that are not Jewish. And Paul was, his MO was when he got to a town, he went to the synagogue. If there was a synagogue there might not be a synagogue, then he didn't do that, of course. But if there was a synagogue, he went to the synagogue, and he was there kind of snooping around and watching for the God-fearers. And he was picking off, as they say, poaching the God-fearers, the people that were Gentiles, but were following the Jewish God, and many of whom if they're still called a God-fearer, they hadn't converted yet. They hadn't gone through the conversion. And for some of them, the adult males in particular, the reason they hadn't converted might very well be circumcision, which is going to come to play here really quickly in this book of Galatians. And then he went away to go and study. So it's like he's reiterating what I have here didn't come from anybody else. It came directly from God. What I preached to you to begin with came directly from God. It was given to me. It was a revelation. I didn't get it from the other apostles. I didn't get it from anybody else. I got it from the main man himself. So it's golden, as I said at the beginning. That's what Paul's reiterating here. That's where he's getting at. I think that's what I've got for you today. I'm going to keep it short. We'll pick up at verse 18 tomorrow. We'll take it through the end of the chapter, and we'll go from there. Have a blessed day. Remember to be a blessing to someone today. If you enjoy these devotion studies, whatever we want to call it, please like and subscribe. Come on back, see us again. We would love to see you again. All right, take care. God bless. God loves you. Bye-bye.